Welcome back to Read to Succeed, the podcast where we explore the wonderful world of reading in English. I'm Emily, your host.
And I'm James. In our last episode, we talked about the importance of speaking and how it can enhance your language skills. Today, we're diving deeper into practical strategies to improve your reading skills.
That's right. Whether you're a beginner or looking to refine your skills, we've got some great tips lined up. So, let's get started.
First off, let's talk about setting realistic goals. Emily, why is this important?
Setting realistic goals gives you a clear direction and keeps you motivated. For example, you might aim to read one article a day or finish a chapter of a book each week. What do you think, James?
I completely agree. It's also important to track your progress. You could keep a reading journal or use apps that track your reading time. This way, you can see how far you've come and adjust your goals as needed.
Great idea. Now, let's discuss the types of materials to read. What do you recommend, James?
I suggest starting with topics that genuinely interest you. If you love cooking, read recipes or food blogs. If you're into science fiction, dive into some novels in that genre. Enjoyment will keep you engaged and make learning more effective.
Absolutely. And don't forget to mix it up. Reading different genres, like news articles, fiction, and non-fiction, will expose you to various vocabulary and writing styles.
Speaking of vocabulary, let's talk about that. When you encounter new words, what should you do?
I recommend keeping a vocabulary notebook. Write down new words, their meanings, and example sentences. Reviewing them regularly will help reinforce your memory.
Another effective technique is to use context clues. When you come across an unfamiliar word, try to infer its meaning based on the surrounding text. This not only helps with understanding but also builds your critical thinking skills.
That's a great strategy. Now, let's move on to reading techniques. Skimming and scanning are two important methods. Can you explain those, James?
Sure. Skimming is when you read quickly to get the general idea of the text. It's useful for deciding if a piece of writing is worth a more detailed read. Scanning, on the other hand, is looking for specific information, like a date or a name. Both techniques can save you time and improve your comprehension.
Fantastic. And don't forget about active reading. This means engaging with the text by highlighting, taking notes, or asking questions. It helps deepen your understanding and retention.
Right, and for our listeners, we encourage you to read aloud sometimes. This can improve your pronunciation and help you internalize the rhythm of the language.
That's a wonderful tip. Let's also mention the power of discussion. Joining a book club or finding a reading buddy can enhance your experience. Sharing thoughts and insights about what you read can provide new perspectives.
I love that idea. It also makes reading a more social activity, which can be really motivating.
Before we wrap up, let's share a few resources. James, do you have any recommendations?
Absolutely. Websites like Project Gutenberg offer free access to thousands of classic books. You can also try apps like Libby or Scribd for borrowing ebooks and audiobooks. And don't forget about online platforms like Goodreads to track your reading and discover new titles.
Those are excellent resources. And remember, the key is consistency. Make reading a daily habit, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
Yes, that's all for today's episode. We hope you found these tips helpful and feel inspired to enhance your reading skills.
Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in for our next episode, where we'll explore reading comprehension strategies.
Happy reading, everyone!